to know 5 reasons not to move to Colorado Springs. Everyone talks about how glorious Colorado Springs is, and it's beautiful. We have the trees, we have the weather, we have the sun, we have the mountains, we have the outdoors. But what you want to know is 5 reasons why not to move to Colorado Springs. So stay tuned in this video. We're going to walk you through our top 5, and stay tuned to the end. It's all about the number 1 is the one reason that shocked me when I moved to Colorado Springs. It's Kayleen here with Colorado's Finest in Colorado Springs, Colorado. We are one of your top realtor groups here in the Colorado Springs area. We're going to tell you all about moving to Colorado Springs, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything you need to know before making that move. Hit the subscribe button and the bell and you'll be notified anytime we put out new videos. We do these videos because we are getting phone calls and emails and texts literally every day about people moving to our area. So reach out to us day, night, weekends, whatever. Lori and I love to help you make the move to Colorado. So we're going to share with you the 5 reasons not to move to Colorado Springs. So I am sure we're going to count it down, but I'm sure you can't guess that number 1 reason. Drop us a comment below and see if you can guess our number 1 reason not to move to Colorado Springs. I don't think you're going to guess it. So let's start with number 5. Number 5 is a big suburb. So I'm from a larger city, so I'm from Minneapolis, St. Paul area. I moved here when I was young, 22, after college, and it is, Colorado Springs is a big city, right? So if you're coming from a smaller city, you're going to think Colorado Springs is big. I want to say our population is like 600,000, and it's growing exponentially as we speak. It's crazy. But we are not a big city. We are more of a big suburb. So number 5 is one of the cons, and I guess it's how you're looking at it, is it's a big suburb. So we don't have a huge downtown area with lots of trendy restaurants. It's getting better, but we're expanding in that area. Downtown is building a new soccer stadium. They're building a new hockey D1 stadium for Colorado College. We're getting unique restaurants. But like I said, it's in the works, and we're not a huge city that has tons of sprawling suburbs, a lot of huge diversity. We are a big suburb with your classic suburban feel, in my opinion. So that was number 5. One of the reasons not to move to Colorado Springs, if you're expecting city life, this is more of a big suburb. Okay, so you heard Lori talking about us being in more of a suburb. Number 4 on this list is definitely something, even when you're visiting here, you'll notice. We have bipolar weather. So I was driving over here today and I saw a guy running in his shorts. 2 days ago, we were literally in a blizzard. And so I don't care if it's winter, fall, spring. In the middle of summer, we'll get torrential rain pours for just a couple hours, and then it goes away and it's amazingly beautiful. Springtime, you have mud, you'll have crazy snowstorms, and then it'll melt. You'll be growing daffodils, they'll freeze. All the way through the year, you just have bipolar weather. What's nice about it, though, is that each day is different. You just have to plan ahead a little and dress in layers. So we've given you 5, and we've given you reason number 4 not to move to Colorado Springs. We're about to give you number 3. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and hit that like button. It helps us out, and it will help you not miss any of our videos if you're thinking of moving, visiting, or relocating to our area. So the number 3 reason is, and I'm from Minnesota, so I know there's no lakes here, right? So Kayleen loves boating. You think from being from Minnesota, I'd be the one with the boat, but she has the boat, and there really is only a handful of lakes, and you have to drive to them. So it's not like you just go in your backyard, drive a few blocks, find a lake. You drive, where do you drive to? Pueblo, right? We go to Pueblo. It's about an hour away from Colorado Springs. One of the biggest lakes in Colorado is the Blue Mesa Reservoir, and that's 3 hours away. You have to be willing to be a weekend warrior to really love the water. You can go hiking up to little lakes. Like the town of Monument has a little lake. It's more for kayaking and fishing. It's definitely
I do love that she called that a lake, because that is like not even a pond.
You see the other side.
I mean, our community loves it and they use it, and there are people.
There's Palmer Lake. There's water, little water, but it's not that vast body of water that you're talking about. Yeah. I'll look online and see houses that have docks in the backyard. I don't think I've ever seen that here in Colorado.
No.
Have we?
No, I don't think we've ever seen that. No. So we have, and even water, like obviously we don't have an ocean. We're landlocked, right?
Lots of river.
Lots of rivers. So that is like fly fishing is really big here. My husband just started picking that up a little bit. But
people go rafting, to those lakes, do the kayaking, the paddle boards.
Yeah.
Boating, you are limited. There's probably about, I don't know, 5-6 good lakes that we kind of rotate through in the summers. And then you go out of state to get those bigger lakes.
I always laugh when we're driving and we're somewhere. I'm like, I see a person with a huge boat in the back. I'm like, where are they going? Like, I don't even know where they're going. I was like,
it is a little odd.
They have to be driving at least 2-3 hours with that boat. And it's amazing to me.
But the fishing is amazing.
Yes, the fresh fish is amazing. Yes. But you can get that by fly fishing as well. So
true.
So there's options. And we were just in Peyton the other day, and they have a little fly fishing little lake area. So there's options. It's just not going to be a ton of lakes. So that was number 3. I was confused where we're at. Number 3.
We're counting down.
Okay.
So number 2 then is something that Lori pointed out that I never thought about before, but it's very true. You don't get a whole lot of those red leaves. Like the season, you go from this glorious summer to all of a sudden you notice leaves changing and you get that yellow and green for quite a bit. And there's like probably about a week time frame where you actually get that orange red.
Yeah. I mean, it's not even the orange red, I think, because if you're from the
Midwest,
it's more or you're from, eastern coast, you get those maples, you get those big bright red trees, which I was used to. Don't get me wrong, the aspen here are gorgeous. Like we make perfectly timed trip to the mountains every year with my family and my kids, and we go hiking and we see the aspens up in the mountains. There's nothing like it. But fall is my favorite time of year, and I love football season, and I love pumpkins, and I love,
she does.
I do. I love all that stuff. So
I'm like, oh, you're getting your fall out.
And I love, just going to like, I don't know, just
pumpkin
tailgating
patches.
And you see all the red. I'm used to like the red, the yellows, the oranges, and we don't have that here. We have a lot of, and you'll have like a tree or two, but you don't get that landscape of like 5 different colors.
What you do get though in Colorado Springs versus like the western slope, because the dirt is red here. So you'll get that red dirt with the yellows and greens.
Well,
but
color-wise,
it's pretty pictures.
It is. Like, so Garden of the Gods has those orange rocks, and so those are beautiful.
Not the burnt red leaves though.
Yeah, no, you don't get them right. So that was number 2 is leaves. And so the number 1, hopefully you guys dropped a comment to tell us what you think that number 1 reason is not to move to Colorado Springs.
This was a good one that you chose because I didn't expect it even moving here.
I didn't either. And we first lived here when I rented a house over on Constitution and Powers. And we had like a horse stable in our backyard. We rented from my husband's mom. And so the number 1 reason is the moss. So usually it fluctuates. It comes every May. Some seasons it can be, not too bad where you don't even notice, depending upon the weather really. And then it can be horrible. Like this last season was pretty bad.
Well, that's what my sister's lived here for longer than I have. And I would talk to her on the phone and she'd say, the moths are so bad. They're everywhere. I'm like, what are you talking about?
I know.
For some reason, they are horrible here in the Springs for a couple weeks to a month.
Yeah, they migrate up into the mountains.
But you will find them in all of your window sills, all over the lights. You need mothballs in your closet.
Yeah, it's one of my least favorite things.
Keep your screens on. My husband had a coworker who tried to air his house out because you don't necessarily need the air conditioning, but his house didn't have screens on. So it was like a gateway for all the moths to come in, and they ate holes in all of his clothes.
Yeah, that's one thing I do like, though. I know we're talking about the things not to move to Colorado for, but when I first moved here, being from Minnesota, I have the mosquitoes and the flies and everything. We don't have like bugs here. And we were talking about the moths, which is for like 2 weeks, but you can just leave your sliding glass door open. I don't care unless the air conditioning's on, but we just leave my windows open, my doors open.
Yeah, you get that
There's
fresh.
No bugs, really. It's amazing. You can sit outside until 10, 11 o'clock at night. I know in Minnesota, it'll be dusk and I'll start slapping myself and we have to go inside around 6 or
Yeah.
7 whenever that sun starts going down.
I was surprised here too, even versus the western slope, there is a lot less mosquitoes and bugs here than even in the mountains.
Yeah, it's pretty
So,
dry, so you don't
yeah.
get that, but you do get those moths. And
Mhm.
so, like I was telling you, that house, I went out into the garage for the first time, and I bet there was probably 1,000 moths in that
Ew.
garage. And my husband was like, we weren't married at the time, but I think he was a little concerned about my reaction to those. And they even have guns. Have you seen the guns you can buy
What?
on Amazon?
The salt guns?
Yeah, the salt guns.
Yes.
So we were going to get one, and then they kind of went away. So maybe this year we'll have to get a salt gun. So that's our number one reason not to move to Colorado Springs. They're pretty mild, actually, considering we live in a beautiful state. But if you want to know the 5 reasons not to move to Colorado Springs, those are probably
There they are. That was a good number one.
Yeah. So if you guys are thinking of moving to our area and you have any questions, drop us a comment below. We would love it if you hit that subscribe button or that like, just to let us know that you are liking our video content, and reach out. Our number is below in the comments, and reach out if you're moving here. Ask us any questions. You can text us. You get us on the phone. It doesn't go to anyone else. We love
it is all us.
It's us. So yeah, ask us any questions you have, and we will see you soon.